Hi, friends. Today, I'm going to chat with you about 5 habits that I am letting go of and not allowing in 2023. At least I'm going to practice, because obviously there's always fallbacks, but then if we're aware of the changes we want to make, then we can only grow and get better from there.
Hi, my name is Pernilla, and this is my Challenge Your Norm podcast. I'm absolutely obsessed with anything related to personal development, and well, to grow, we gotta challenge our norm. And so on this podcast, we chat about life and how we can challenge our normal way of living it to make it greater than we could have ever imagined. Just one little belief, habit, bold move, and perspective at a time.
Last week, we spoke about 8 habits that I want to continue doing and that I'm hoping you want to do in 2023. And so I thought that this would be fun to do, because we often talk only about what we want to add, but when we are bringing something new into our life, it's also important that we get ready to let go of some things to allow space for the new things that we want in life. And so here are the 5 things that I will not allow in my life in 2023. The first thing that I did after coming back from Bali was to not allow my phone nor my computer in my bedroom. Because when I was away, I really realized how, yes, I have my morning routine. I have had a somewhat on and off night routine, but the constant distractions from my phone and computer took up more space than I even was aware of. But when I went to Bali, I didn't really use my phone and my computer in the same way. And because of the time difference, because my work is to post on social media, I had to schedule that. It was in the middle of the night when I had to post. And so because of the having scheduled it, it wasn't in the back of my mind, and it allowed so much more freedom and space for me to just be present and do the things that I wanted to do in the moment without all of those constant distractions. And so I decided in Bali that I was going to make a challenge for myself, which I'm just starting with 30 days because I think it's always great to set a small goal. And then once we're in the habits, it's easier to continue. And I'm loving it so far. And that is, like I mentioned, no phone and no computer in the bedroom. But I was thinking, like, I need to have like an alarm if I ever need that. I want to be able to see what time it is. I want to be able to read. I want to be able to like study if there's something that I want to study, and have the freedom to write notes on my notepads. Like, I always come up with these creative ideas. For example, like what podcast I should create tomorrow morning, or what I could make a TikTok about. Like, I come up with these ideas. So I wanted a space to be able to write, so that came straight into my notes. And what I came up with was an iPad. If you're not watching this on video, I'm showing you my new iPad that I went to got right when I got back from Bali. And what I did with this iPad is I deleted all apps, as in mail, text messages, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, like anything that is to do with social media distractions, and just like even messages and emails, like anything that has to do with distractions that does not allow my creativity to flow in the way that I want it to flow, has been deleted from this iPad. I didn't actually even know that you could delete like text messages and stuff. You can even do that on the phone. I just researched it and realized that that's a possibility. So now I have the freedom to read. I just downloaded Blinkist so that I can read like a ton of books. I'll like read it while I listen to it. It's not a full book, but it's all the highlights of the books. And I have already read like, I feel like 15 books, but it's not obviously full books. It's just the main key points of the books. And I'm loving it. I am loving it. So that is my number one thing. No phone and no computer in the bedroom. So I charge my phone in my kitchen and my computer stays in my office. And I feel like I'm learning so much. My creativity is flowing and I'm feeling less distracted. And I love it. So if that's something you want to give a try, I highly recommend. The second habit that I am saying goodbye to in 2023 is adapting my behavior to please someone else. I am a recovering pleaser, you can call it, and always have adapted my personality, not wanting to bother people, which I obviously still don't want to do, but not wanting to be myself if that meant that possibly could annoy or make someone else feel not good, which I obviously still don't want to do. But what I've realized is, and I've practiced this all last year, I've come such a long way with this, but just expressing my needs and being me. What I've realized more and more as I've developed this skill of allowing myself to be that is that I develop stronger bonds, deeper connections. I think people like me more when I'm honest, because I feel like authenticity, you can feel it. People are a lot wiser than we think, and we can, even if it's just like we're not fully aware of it, I feel like we can feel it within people's energies if they are living authentically. And when I'm saying this, I mean simple things. Like if I am at a retreat like my mom and I just was, and I have certain diet preferences, or I'm a little bit cold, or they ask me a question and I actually would rather this other thing, like just saying it as it is. Like I would really love if it would be possible with my meals that it was this way, or I'm really cold right now. Do you happen to have a blanket? Or what was the last thing I just mentioned? I forget the last thing, but just saying what I need, because what I've come to realize is that typically we're not actually a bother if we express what we need. People love to help other people. If those people are already trying to accommodate me, they're already trying to do everything in their power to make me have the best experience possible, then they would rather that I express what that looks like for me than me not expressing it. And then, it almost being a mismatch of them trying to do their absolute best to please me, and then me just like, yes, that's perfect, when really, there's something else that would be even more perfect. What I realized every time I maybe shared something or was honest if they asked me a question was that they would be more than thrilled, more than happy to make this little change or to do this thing in a little bit of a different way. Like that almost made them happier because I was sharing what I wanted, and then they could give me that. It's also a simple thing as, like when you're with a friend or a partner and they're like, okay, so what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? And then always doing what the other person wants to eat. There's something about, that's obviously, it needs to be a balance, right? Like that's amazing that we do what the other person wants to eat. But if that's every time, I feel like the other person almost also just even subconsciously is like, would really prefer sometimes that the person that's always like, whatever you want to eat, sometimes is like, you know what, today I really feel like sushi. Because that allows that other person to do something for you, to do something that they know, okay, this other person wants to eat sushi, so let's eat sushi. And then knowing that, okay, that's going to make the other person happy. The more I learn not to be a people pleaser anymore, I feel like the friendships just become more authentic when you share what's deep down on your mind, what you deep down need. And with that, it can build. If we're not speaking our actual truth, there is this energy of superficialness almost. I don't know how else to explain it. And by us simply being honest and authentic, it just allows that to develop and be more real. And sometimes it's the tough discussions that come from it. But once you work through those, that is when depth of the connection relationship deepens and allows for a much more beautiful, open form of communication and and being together, which just feels really good. So that is something I'm going to say no to for 2023, at least practice adapting my behavior to what I think they want. It's not really what they want, it's what I think they want for me to be. Because I just think authenticity, living truthfully, even though sometimes we don't know what that is. Moving on. Third thing is kind of connected because it has to do with my self-doubt. And I'm going to get specific here. I have self-doubt, have had in past tense, when it comes to really living this life as a life coach. I am educated as a life coach. I feel like I continuously educate myself. It is a never-ending journey. But like I have the certificate, and I have really built some habits that has helped me change my life and that I know will help other people change their life as well if they decide to start incorporating it into their life. But I have a mindset that a lot of people, if they start incorporating those habits and patterns and beliefs that I continuously am practicing and learning myself, that when shared with others can really be useful and helpful in their life. But all of last year and prior to that, there has been this lingering self-doubt in the fact, I guess it's what people call, I forget what they call it, but like when you don't actually feel worthy and capable of doing it, there has been this lingering self-doubt of who do I think I am to be sharing this life advice? Like who wants to learn from me? Like, oh, I don't want to be too much. I don't want people to think that I just have my whole life together. This lingering self-doubt of not being able and capable of being that, of being this life coach that helps a ton of people, which is what I deep down want. That is my mission in life. But I have subconsciously been holding myself back and stuck to the more silly stuff, which I love doing the silly stuff. It's a part of me, and that's something nobody can ever take away from me. But leaning more towards that rather than leaning towards this deep part of me that just is intensely motivated and inspired to help myself grow so that I can help others grow. And that is something I'm letting go of. I have 3 words for my 2023, like 3 focuses. One is self-discipline, because I know that I need self-discipline in order for me to stay consistent with the things that deep down make me feel at my best, but also moving towards the goals that I want. The second one is boldness, and that is combined with the first one, which is self-discipline, because without self-discipline, I do not have the power, the strength to feel as bold as I need to reach my third word of the year, which is impact, to help as many people's lives as possible. And I need to be bold in order for me to do that, because if I'm not bold, I don't dare share the things that I know in my gut are true, that I know in my soul are true, that have helped me so much. I need boldness to be able to share those messages so that I can make the impact. So those are the 3 words: self-discipline, boldness, and impact. And those are going to help me completely eliminate self-doubt. And yes, self-doubt is going to show up again and again, but as long as I focus on those 3 words, I can eliminate the self-doubt and reconnect with this strength that I need in order, this self-discipline, boldness, and impact that I need to live my life purpose out and make the impact that I want to make. So goodbye self-doubt. I do not want you anymore. And of course you need to, sometimes go a little deeper in like therapy to really heal those traumas that have made you create this self-doubt that has stuck with you for your entire life. But I know that I am the absolute most confident when I am living my life with self-discipline, boldness, and just focusing on impacting. When I focus on how can I help others rather than what are they going to think of me if I do this? And maybe it could be useful for you as well. Quick little side note. I'm doing intermittent fasting since coming back because that's something that I wanted to do. Oh, actually, we could totally skip to what I was supposed to talk about in the 5th one, but as the 4th one, because that has to do with what I was about to share about my coffee, which is I am doing intermittent fasting since coming back. And I put, what is it called? Like full fat milk or something similar to whipping cream in my coffee. Like 1 tablespoon apparently is supposed to be okay to put in your coffee and it not to break your fast. And why that has to do with the next thing that I'm letting go of for 2023 is because I am letting go of things controlling me, and instead I want to be in control of it. I made this Minute Monday motivation chat about how my mantra for this year is, it does not control me, I am in control of it. And that really is something that I'm letting go of these different things controlling me rather than me being in control of it. And one of the things is food has been in control of me in the sense that I have been eating way too many sweets and stevia and certain things in my diet that I knew wouldn't make me feel at my best. And the funny thing is that when I was at this retreat in Bali, a healer came in to see me, and he could read so many things about me from just looking at my hands. It was actually insane, the things he knew about my body from just looking at my hands, and he could feel my energy and different things. But he said, "You're eating too many sweets." And I knew it. It's something that I've been wanting to let go of, but I have let it control me. And when I was at that retreat, I was like thinking about, what do I need to let go of? And that was one of the things. I need to let go of this constant eating sweets, because sugar, and even if it's stevia, it is an addiction. So I went cold turkey, no more sugar. I can allow myself my like weekly lollipop or weekly whatever little treat, but there's no more, whether it's soda, like diet soda, or it's like the ice sweetened soda waters, or even like vitamin water that has been sweetened. Like, I have been so addicted to these sweet things, continuously wanting that I don't want that to control me. It's like, yeah, no more of that. That is one of the things that I'm letting go of control. It's also like I've been in different times in my life, been in patterns of like constantly watching YouTube videos, which now that I don't put my computer with me into my bed because I only have my iPad, like I won't be watching YouTube videos. And also sometimes laziness when it comes to my night routine, like not doing a night yoga session or night hike when I know that that would make me feel really good. Letting this laziness control me rather than me being in control of it. And this affirmation of it does not control me, I control it, just is very, very useful. But just letting go of what you can call addictions. And I know we all have our own version of that. And I know that my addictions maybe aren't as bad as other addictions, but I just don't want those things to be in control of me. And also because it deep down, yes, it's fine if I do sometimes, but it has taken overhand. And I think for us to make changes, oftentimes that does mean making one bold decision, one bold move, followed by small action steps afterwards. And for me, that just means cutting out sugar. So saying no to addictions. And I'm hoping that you ask yourself, what's something in your life that you have been addicted to that you're like, nope, no more, no longer will I allow that to control me, because it's not serving me. It's not aligned with who I want to be, my long-term vision. So goodbye. We ain't doing this thing anymore. The 5th and final thing that I'm letting go of, that I have been practicing for a while, but that in 2023, I'm really gonna let it go, is this continuously apologizing. We all know that person that even though they get bumped into, they say, oh, sorry. Or they do the tiniest little thing, oh, I'm sorry. Or, I mean, things that they shouldn't be sorry for, they say, I'm sorry. And I've done that a lot in my life and really practiced not doing that anymore. The reason a person continuously says sorry is almost because they want to feel reassured that they are okay, that the other human person is not mad at them. So it almost, when someone says sorry, becomes about them and this reassuring that, am I okay? Like, are you mad at me? Rather than being grateful for, let's say someone is helping you, instead of saying sorry, just digging into gratitude towards what the other person is doing towards you, saying thank you. Mel Robbins talks about this in her High Five Habit book, where it's like dig into gratitude rather than apologizing, because then it becomes more about this appreciation for the other person rather than it being about reassuring yourself and your insecurities, really. And we shouldn't walk around in this world constantly feeling sorry, constantly almost feel like we're bothering someone, feeling like it's almost like we're belittling ourselves, right? Where instead, if we just stand our ground and just really appreciate and thank the other person for, understanding, then it becomes a more comfortable space for everyone to be in. And we don't make it about ourselves. We make it about a positive thing about the other person. I am all about apologizing if I've made a mistake. We all make mistakes, and I make just as many as everyone else. And I'm all about taking ownership and apologizing for whenever I do make mistakes. But I also know the difference when I'm making a sincere apologization, because it's something I've really thought through, and I really want to apologize for something that I did that I no longer ever want to do again, rather than when it's like, oh, I'm sorry. When it's like, I'm almost like tiptoeing so that other person thinks that I'm okay, which kind of goes back to some of the other topics that I've talked about in this podcast. I mean, they're all always connected, right? So yeah, that's something I'm saying goodbye to. And maybe you want to do that as well. I think it's something that a lot of females tend to do, and I need us to stop. We should not apologize for who we are. We should not apologize for the little things that we do. Like, we should own them, and we should just be grateful for the humans around us that are there to experience the growth that we are developing on the journey, right? So those are 5 habits that I'm letting go of in 2023. If this resonated with you and you feel like you have a friend that maybe would find it useful as well, please share it with them. If you wouldn't mind, I would absolutely love your feedback, reviewing this podcast and giving me a rating if that's something you'd be willing to do. I am so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much for listening. Remember that anything that does not serve you, that does not align with who you deep down want to be, you every day have a chance to let go of it. And what it really takes is making that commitment, making that decision that you no longer want it in your life. And sometimes you need to exchange it with a new habit, something that you do instead. Sometimes it's just about saying, heck no, I am not doing that thing ever again, because it does not feel good. However you do it, you have a chance every day to let go of that one thing that is not serving you. This was my 5. Maybe you have 5 as well. Maybe you want to sit and journal on it for a while. You deserve it. You deserve to live the freaking best life ever. And I think that's it for this podcast. So remember that in order for you to grow, you have to challenge your norm. Bye.